So, each year, the National Association of College Admission Counselors, that's what NACNAC stands for, they come up with what is colleges doing as far as selecting their students. And then they also talk about what happened the previous year. So this is 2016's data. So average acceptance rate is 66%. Pretty high, right? So that has to give you comfort that your child will get into a college in the United States, right? Record number of applications. Because of electronic applications, they call the Common App, the Universal App, students can apply to a number of colleges and only complete the application once. So they put all the data in, and then they can send it to a number of colleges at once. So what does that do? That took the average number of applications from 4 to 5 to 8 to 12. So it doubled the amount of applications students submit. Now, I'll do a T box. So every time I think about what are the benefits, what are the drawbacks. So when you think about the benefits to you, it gives you more options, lets you apply to various types of schools, reach your target or safety schools, ones that where you're kind of stretching beyond your current SAT, ACT, GPA range, but you really like the school and you think you have other factors that the college may consider, like leadership or clubs or organizations, that kind of thing. So you try and say, okay, I'm going to have a reach school, but target schools are schools that kind of meet the criteria. Your profile, your SAT, your GPA, has the programs you want, good academic reputation. And then some students pick safety schools. I'm not a big safety school person, but they do select 1 or 2 safety schools. So you want a blend of those. So applying helps the student, but think about it. It also helps the college. $75 an application. So even if they reject you, they've just made $75 on the application. So it's a money-grabbing experience from the universities. So I always caution, I had one student want to apply to 22. I think that's absolutely stupid, but they want to have protection, worried about everything. But I think somewhere between 8, 10, 12 is plenty. That means you have to do your research on the schools. You have to know that these schools are ones that have what you want. You have to kind of do research on the website to see what kind of activities they have, what the social mix is. You probably should have visited a couple of them. You don't have to visit all of them, you should have visited a couple of them, and have a good feel that this would be a good fit for your child. IB acceptance, probably a little bit even lower this year. Anybody have a sense of what would be the most difficult school to get into? Up my yield. Am I going to get this $300,000 investment? It becomes a business, right? And so I gotta kind of project a little bit here. You know, is this going to be her first choice? She probably applied to Stanford too. If she gets into Stanford, she'll probably go there. So is that good or bad? I don't know. Honest to God, this is where they go. So how can I improve and show my demonstrated interest? I can visit the campus. I can interview. I can send communication to faculty about research interests that I have, that I'd like to do on that campus. It would help me, right? Show me that I'm interested, have demonstrated interest. So those are some tricks you can use, but definitely visiting, signing the guest book, letting them know you've been there, following up with an email, thanking them for allowing you to visit, complimenting the tour guide, talk about the facility, talk about your majors, talk about your interests, talk about their school, the strengths they have. So all those things are things you want to do. A lot of students pay less attention to what their social media page looks like. Definitely look at your child's Facebook page. Clean it up if there's anything in there that could be considered less than safe. They wouldn't want to show it to the grandmother. So if they're at a beer pong party, probably should come off. And they not only go onto the Facebook page, they look at their photos, they look at their comments, they look at what their friends are saying, and they get linked to all that. So when you think about college campuses, there's a lot of concern over safety, about death because of over drinking, drugs, etc. So anything negative on that site, you want to clean it up. Not that I'm sure I've checked every one of your Facebook pages, and you guys are all clean, but you never know. One of you, though, I'll share with you separately. So what are they looking for with the essays? They're looking for mature candidates that are independent and kind of know where they're going. All right. So I'm reading this book. It's called "Am I Clear?" And it's talking about being a better writer. And one of the things I always try to encourage students is to work on their writing to be clear. You're writing for the reader. You're not writing for yourself. Right? Make sense? Most people write for themselves. Makes them feel good, use very big words, SAT words, try and obfuscate. I don't even know if I used that properly or not, but I might. And it's more to impress than to instruct. So always be instructive. And show it. Show it, not tell it. I was president of the senior class. Who cares? What did you do as president of the senior class? Show them, don't tell them. So they're looking for mature people. But the book went on to say, if you're not a clear thinker, you're not going to be a clear writer. So the first thing I try and work on is to get their thinking to be pristine, to be very clear. This is who I am, this is what I want, and this is where I'm going. So talk about past, current, future. Talk about it in a cohesive, logical, mature way. So pointing versus rounded students. When I applied to college in 1965, some of you weren't born yet, right? You put your year. I am a dinosaur. So when I applied to college, it was being well-rounded. You know, being in a lot of clubs, being in sports, being in academics. That was a big deal. Now colleges want pointing students. So they want angular students. They want students that have a lot of skill in a limited range of topic. A lot of skill in that limited range. So pointing, angular. Example, I had a student that was very strong in technology, created websites, actually hosted and developed websites for a lot of municipal governments in the area. By the time he was a senior, he was making $50,000 a year working, building technology. That's pretty poignant. So not only could he say he had this, he had documented proof he had this, and he talked about this. And some students get very concerned about, right, being too much of a braggart, too much of a chest pounder. You gotta know how to market. If I would say to you, I do college coaching, yeah, I'm okay, pretty good. Play some kids, Ivy location. You need to kind of put it in a package that people can get it and not be overwhelmed by your approach. So students tend not to know how to market themselves. I mean, this is called I-Ink, selling yourself. You gotta wrap yourself up in a label and let them know what they're buying. So students can, if they know who they are, can kind of package themselves up and present themselves to the college. It's more than SATs, it's more than GPA. It's more than those two things. It's more than just your academic. They want students on campus that will contribute to things that are going to happen on that campus. Clubs, activities, sports, the yearbook, having people come in and take tours, that you'll be a tour guide. They want to have that round group of people that have real strong skills in a lot of different areas. Okay? Any questions so far? So I found this quote, and I think it summarizes this pointed versus angular. So are you a wandering generality? Meaning, are you trying to be an everyman, satisfy the college, or are you a meaningful specific? Are you very, very specific in what you do, what you present to the college as your skill set, and what your needs are? Your skill set matches your future direction. That takes time, it takes thinking. So the meaningful specific, like Franklin has this quote, a well-educated man is not the man who knows a lot about a little, but the man or woman, or the woman who knows a lot about a little. Think about even in your business situations. Everybody's impressed with this guy or gal who knows a lot about a very narrow topic that's of importance to the company versus this guy who can do everything. He doesn't do any of them exceptionally well. So he can do them, get better, improve. Make sense?